Who are you? Tell me who you are. That's the first thing I heard God say when I tore my ACL. He said, this is where you define yourself. You define yourself through the hard times. Most of the time we think the problems we face are solely about us, when in reality, it's for the betterment and the development of others. What makes you so special that you were given the opportunity to recover when someone else didn't? You were chosen. Prove God right. Find your purpose. Build your empire. Believe in yourself. All right. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? How are we doing?
This next segment here is going to work a lot on sprint speed. What we're going to need to do is get good.
Awesome. So everyone should be really excited, right? You're getting ready to go to high school. So again, my name is Trayvon Bryant, and I'm so excited to be here with you all today. And I just want to thank Mr. Sullivan and for everyone else who has been a part of this to help make this happen. So today's going to be a special day. We're going to have a really good time, and we're going to get you out of here today on time before you go home. But I'm going to ask for you all to get ready to open up your minds, right? Be ready to be active today, right? This is going to be an engagement activity as well, because I want you to learn from this as much as you here today. So I want you to make sure that you are engaged and that you're ready to participate. Don't be afraid, right? This is supposed to be fun, and we're going to go ahead and kick it off. And so today, right, what we're going to talk about is, I'm going to give you a little bit about me, about my story, right? And today I want you all to leave this place knowing that you have a choice in life, right? Because there was a point in my life where I realized that I had a choice, and so do you. Because a lot of times, right, as 8th graders, as teenagers, we feel like we don't have a choice in some parts of our life. But I'm here today to tell you that you do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little bit of background about me, where I'm from, what I do, how did I get here today, and then we're going to get into our topics, we're going to get into our activities, and it's going to be nice and fun. All right, so here we go. So I'm from St. Augustine, Florida. St. Augustine, Florida. So you're like, wow, how'd you get all the way up here in New Hampshire, right? And I'll get into that. So I went to Otis Mason Elementary School. None of these names are going to sound familiar from you all unless you're all from Florida, from St. Augustine. My 6th grade year, I went to Murray Middle School, then I transitioned to another middle school, so I did a lot of moving as I was young. Some of you may can relate, right? Doing a lot of moving. I probably moved 11 times when I was in middle school. 6th to 8th grade, I probably moved houses 11 times. So I was always moving, right? And then I ended up going to Pedro Menendez High School. Went to Pedro Menendez High School. Right, so Pedro Menendez High School, some of my accolades here. So I graduated high school in 2014 with a 3.5 GPA, which was not easy to accomplish for me as well. So I was in an AVID program. I don't know if you all have heard of the AVID program, but an AVID program is a college prep readiness course, right, which gets you ready for college, teaches you how to do your applications, gets you in that process of talking to college officials, right? So I was in that course. And then also, as you can see, right, I was a football star, upcoming star in my hometown, and my number one goal in life was to make it to be an NFL player, right? That was my number one goal. That's what I wanted to do from the time that I was your age, right? I set in stone to myself that I was going to make it to the NFL, and I was going to be able to change the financial situation for my family, for my friends, and anyone that I was connected to, right? So I ended up getting 6 Division I scholarships, UNH being one of them, which I chose to accomplish my college career at UNH. And so after UNH, right, so I played there from 2014 to 2019. I got my undergrad in Human Development Family Studies, right? So Human Development Family Studies, which is a focus on the development of individuals across their lifespan. And then I ended up getting my master's degree in adolescent development. As you can see, I'm standing here in front of you all today because your age group, right, adolescent development, that teenage into the young adult age, is the age group that I want to impact. Because when I was your age, I felt like I needed the most development. I felt like I needed mentorship. I felt like I needed the most help at your age, right? And so this is the age that I want to impact. And that's why I went and got my master's degree in adolescent development. And so now going back, as I was doing grad school, I got an internship at the University of New Hampshire working as an academic advisor, where I got to work with incoming students who were undeclared. and helping them figure out which classes they wanted to take, which major they wanted to major in, right? Some of you are probably already thinking about college, right? What do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? So I was that advisor that was helping the kids who couldn't decide what they wanted to do, and it was really fun because I was in that position. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was undeclared, and I got to become the person to help those students who were coming after me, which was awesome. And then at the same time, I also became a fitness instructor where I taught workout classes. I also worked with young kids. I worked with adults where I taught classes of about 20 people per class, right? Working on fitness, very into fitness, and then also started my motivational speaking business where I began to share my story around the world and encouraging young adults, young teenagers, and even adults, right? And so, here it is. Became a hall director. So right now I'm currently a hall director at University of New Hampshire. I'm the hall director of Peterson Hall at UNH, right? And so you might say, what is the hall director, right? So a hall director, I work in the residential life department, and I'm the overseer of the dorm of about 260 students. So in the future, if any of you end up at UNH, right, the dorm that you may stay in, I'm going to be the person that will be over that dorm as far as maintenance, any issues, right, whether it could be health related, anything, right? So I will be the person that's overseeing that. And that's what I do as a hall director. Now, so I want to transition into my story, right? As a UNH football player, again, I said my number one dream, my number one goal was to become an NFL player. So as you can see, every single thing was going right for me, right? The playing time, the accomplishments that I made, every single thing was going right. And I was like, yes, I'm about to achieve my dream. I'm about to achieve my goal. I'm getting so close to it. Here's the NFL. I'm getting ready to change my life. I'm getting ready to change my family's life, right? And I even got the opportunity to play against some great friends. I got the opportunity to be the first two-time team captain in UNH's history, right? I got the opportunity to be the main guy, right? Scoring touchdowns, which was awesome, which was great. And as I began to go into my last year of football, I ended up experiencing the worst part of my life. It changed my life. And that was a huge injury. So I ended up tearing my ACL, my NCL, my medial and lateral meniscus, and my patellar tendon all in one snap. My entire life changed. My entire life changed. And from that moment, I knew that I had to make a decision. Because I said that I wanted to be great. How many of you want to be great? How many of you want to be successful? Right? Just show of hands, right? Everyone wants to be great. Everyone wants to be successful. But one thing that the world doesn't tell you is that when you meet adversity, you got to make a decision. Right? Because it's going to make you prove how bad you want it. And so I remember, it was literally the night before, it was a spring practice in April, right before Easter, and we had 5 practices left before we got to go home for the summer to see our family. I only got to go home twice a year. That was summer for 2 weeks, and for Christmas for a week to see my family. So those are the only 2 times I got to see my family. So I only had 5 practices left before I got to go see my family. And literally the night before, it was about 10 p.m., I was talking to both of my roommates. And I said, guys, we only have 5 practices left. All we have to do is stay healthy. All we have to do is practice hard for these last 5 practices. And we're going to be able to go home. One of my roommates was from Washington State. The other roommate was from Uganda, right? And so we traveled far. So we were so ready to go home. Little did I know that at 5:30, when I woke up that morning, that my life was going to change. Woke up at 5:30, went into practice, and as I began to get ready to attack the day, I said, this is going to be it. I'm going to give it my all, right? So as we're in practice, I'm standing next to the quarterback. Down, ready, set, hike. I get the ball, and as I get the ball, I hear the linemen, they're crashing, they're hitting each other. Grown men grunting, right? Sounds like a bunch of cars crashing into each other. So my number one goal is to gain yardage. And as I begin to shift my way through the offensive lineman, a safety comes up and we meet each other head on. And as we begin to fight against each other, I'm trying to push him backwards, he's trying to push me backwards, and our opposite forces begin to drive us lateral. And as we begin to run laterally, the linebacker jumps over the lineman, and as my foot gets stuck in the ground, he hits my hip and my knee snaps. My life changed. My life changed. From that moment, I knew that something wasn't right. My entire leg burning in flames. Everyone was silent. You could hear a penny drop on the turf. And at that moment, again, I knew that my life changed. And so as you can see, this is a picture here of my knee before my first surgery. Yes, that's a knee. and that's a thigh, just skin and bone, right? And so I had lost so much weight. I lost every single thing. I went from being a high elite caliber athlete to someone who is dependent on someone to help him shower, to get food, right? Just in a matter of seconds, my entire life changed. And at that moment, I didn't know that I still had a choice to make in life to be successful, because that's what I said when I was in 8th grade. I said I wanted to make it to the NFL. I said that I wanted to be successful, right? And from that moment, I knew that I was going to have to make a decision, and the decision that I made would determine where I was going to be standing at today. And so, I lost my dream, I felt all alone, and I feared people would laugh. Because I told people that I was going to be this, people told me that I was going to be that. People expected me to be what I wanted to be, which was an NFL player. But because I had that injury and I couldn't achieve that dream, I felt like I was a failure, right? Has anyone ever felt like they were a failure before? Show of hands, yeah? You ever felt like you were a failure, right? But little do you know that those failures are the catapult to success, because they build you, they make you stronger, they make you better. And so what I have here is a quick 5-minute video that's going to talk about the experience that I just told you about. So I want you to pay attention, because you'll be able to hear a little bit about my story, and hopefully it'll inspire you.
Trayvon Bryant is the type of person who inspires people on and off the field. Being known for his leadership and determination has gotten him far in football, but last season he had to develop a new mindset as he faced a challenge he never imagined.
Senior running back Trayvon Bryant had high hopes for his final year as a UNH Wildcat. Being named captain alongside one of his closest teammates and roommate, DeAndre Drummond-Myrie, this season was meant to be one for the books.
I tore 4 ligaments in my knee. I tore my ACL, my patellar tendon, my MCL, and my lateral and medial meniscus, all in one. It was the most painful thing ever. It was the loudest noise. It was crazy.
It was sad when we first got hurt, because we've been together all these years. We both got our right turns burned together, so we knew we'd be the only two leaving early in our class. So it was sad to see him get hurt for 2 reasons. One, because you don't want to see a player that good get hurt, and then 2, that's your best friend and he can help the team so much.
After a series of surgeries and a lot of time spent recovering, Trayvon stood strong and found out what he needed most.
There's a lot of times where I had to put, my feelings and my not wanting to get up out of bed and not wanting to go to treatment and all that stuff. I had to put all that stuff aside to, focus on my teammates and make sure that, they're getting the leadership from me that they need. My family stayed in contact with me. My mom, she came up and she spent a lot of time with me. Teammates also played a part in staying mentally tough, but it was mostly just through a lot of prayer and, just having hope that things would be okay.
He's just a really good friend of mine, So whenever he was feeling down or just upset, especially when it first happened, I just let him know I'm always here. Just letting him know it's gonna suck, it's gonna suck, but you're gonna be okay. You've been through worse, people have been through worse, and he already is a positive person. So it wasn't that hard for him to kind of get on that track of positivity, to know that it is what it is, and he will get better.
My roommates, I had DeAndre, he's already graduated. I had Dane Herron, I had Isaiah Perkins, Quinlan Dean. Those guys were the most guys that were around, helping out a lot.
The St. Augustine native is not only a star here for the UNH football program, but there's so much more to him than what the public eye sees. Seeking a master's degree in human development and family studies, Trayvon is hoping to make an impact on the development of the youth.
I work at Green Guard Center for Autism, which is a place in Portsmouth where I work with young adults with autism. And basically what we do, we just spend a lot of time with them, helping develop their skills just to get them back out into the community and be able to operate well with everyone else in the community.
And Trayvon is just, if there's one word I can describe about Trayvon, it's character. I've never heard him say anything bad about anyone. He just set the example. He's very coachable. Whatever you ask him to do, he does it. And he's the type of kid you want your kids to be like.
He's a freak, man. He's so good at so many things, and he's so dedicated to so many things. And when he really puts his mind to something, he's gonna go get it.
And like I said, I'm getting a master's degree in development, family studies, and focusing on the adolescent development part of it. But I really just think that I have a gift and the ability to be able to reach out to the young. So I want to be able to go back and do that for the students and just help them get through it mentally, because I know I struggle mentally sometimes, and just having that extra person just kind of help, and I think I can do that for the world.
Not only is he a role model to the community and influential to those around him, he's got a couple hidden talents as well.
On the field, he's a very animated player, to say the least. He's really pumped up. He has a great energy, but off the field, like, he still has that same energy, but he's more of like a goofy person, I guess you could say. Like, always dancing, he sings, he sings, he acts, he does like skits for us. He's like hilarious.
I think that he thinks he is a singer and a dancer on the side besides football.
I don't know if anyone doesn't know, but I dance, sing a little bit. Yeah, that's about it.
Trayvon said the most important influences in his life have been his high school coach, TJ Sims, and his mom.
She's my rock. That's my lady. Yeah, she does a lot for me, man. And most of my motivation comes from her. Just growing up, seeing how hard she worked, and everything she does for me. It's my responsibility to succeed, and not just for me, but for her, because I know when I do succeed, she's happy. So TJ Sims is definitely one of the biggest influences on my life. I grew up in a single parent family home, so he stepped in as a father figure, and just kind of took over that role.
He just, I don't know, he's like a son to me, we weren't only just, coach and player, we were, outside of football, we just talked about life, and, I just wanted to do whatever I could to be there for him.
Trayvon is looking forward to suiting up for this fall season and tackling the next chapter of his life.
He's gonna make it happen, so he can do whatever he wants on that field.
There's a lot of people that do know my name, and there's a lot of people that don't, and the people that don't will. But yeah, this is going to be the season where I do what I have to do.
All right, so if you can just repeat after me. I have a choice. Come on, let me hear it. Repeat after me. I have a choice. And so do you. Look to the person at your right or your left, saying, I have a choice. And so do you. Now, see, the hardest part about what you just watched for me was to make that decision to keep going, right? I thought that was the end. I thought that was the end of it. But what I'm here to tell you all today is your life is going to change. Your life is going to change when you get ready to go into high school. Who's excited to go to high school, right? By show who's excited to go to high school, right? Who's going to be coming to this high school? Who's going to be coming to this high school, right? So you have so much coming ahead of you, and your life is going to change. But your life is going to change for the best. And the reason why it's going to change for the best is because you have a choice and you have a decision to make every single day, right? Because the choice and the decisions that you make today determines the step that you have to take tomorrow. And so, as you're just watching the video, I experienced a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, right? A lack of confidence. And through all of that, I realized that I have to make a choice because I said I wanted to be successful. I didn't realize that there are thousands, millions, and billions of people in this world that are very successful that don't put on a helmet and shoulder pads every day, right? Because I only limited myself to just being an athlete when I had so many other talents in my life. Like there's some people in here who are probably really good at drawing, probably really good at singing, probably really good at dancing, way better than my dancing, right? So there are probably a lot of you who have multiple talents, but you can't limit yourself to one because when adversity reaches you, when you hit adversity, when you hit that brick wall like I did, when everything changes in a matter of seconds, right? What decisions, what choices are you going to make? Are you still going to try to be successful? And so, through that whole thing, right, I had to make sure that I had self-respect. I had to make sure that I still took care of my responsibilities. I had to continue to have a growth mindset, right? And I had to be engaged. And so, with those four things, this is how we're going to start some of our activities, right? So I'm going to ask for some people to participate, but all of you have a sheet of paper in your hand. All of you have a sheet of paper, so go ahead and pull that sheet of paper out. And all in front of that paper, what you're going to see is a bunch of responsibilities, right, as high schoolers, right? So on this list, you're going to see chores, studying homework, playing games, practice, work, right, meditation. So these are just some random things or some random responsibilities. So what I want you to think about, right, knowing your values, knowing what it is that you love to do, what you enjoy to do, right? I want you to look at this list and I want you to begin to pick at least 5 or 10 things and rank them in your head. And on the back, there's also a list that you can put them in if you have a pen or pencil, but if not, it's totally fine, just keep it in the head. But I want you to rank these of what's most important to you, right? What will be a part of your responsibility list as a high schooler, right? For me, the number one thing is going to be brushing my teeth in the morning, right? So that's going to be the number one thing. And so I want you to just take a few seconds to categorize that. And what I'm going to do is after that, I'm going to ask someone to raise their hand and to just give me a list of maybe 3 to 4 that are your top 4 responsibilities that you would rank very high as a responsibility. So maybe chores, right? Maybe your parents are very strict on you about chores. So maybe that might be your top responsibility, right? So you all have a choice and a decision to make of which one's going to be your top 4, right? And so is there anyone who's willing to read out their list, right? This is a show of hands. All right, here we go. I'll come down to you real quick. All right, so just say your name for me and then just read it out loud.
So my name's Nikolai, and my list, number 1 on my list is hanging out with friends and family time, taking care of pets, shower, brush teeth, practicing, and playing games.
Awesome. Is there anyone else who would like to read? Perfect. Come right up here to you.
I'm Keegan. The 4 things I chose was homework, chores, siblings, and games.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there anyone else, a third person? So what you want to realize, I want you to hear the difference in what everyone is choosing, right? Because everyone's life is different.
Perfect. Last one here.
You all know me. I'm Harrison. You guys know that. Thank you. It's family, school, soccer.
Awesome. Thank you. And I have something for the 3 of you. So can you just raise your hand? 3 people who just shared, can you raise your hand? I'm going to put for you. But what I want you to realize is that each one of them has something different on their list, right? Each one has something different on their list. And what that goes to show is that each one of your lives is different, right? So what you find to be as a responsibility may be different, right? So what I want you to realize is that as you get ready to go into high school, a lot of things are going to change, right? The people who you hang out with are going to change. The things that you like to do are going to change, right? But just because those things change, just because you may have a best friend in here right now who may not be your best friend in high school, you may not talk as much, doesn't mean that the two of you don't like each other. It just means that your lifestyle, the things that you like, those things are changing and developing over time as you get older, right? And so that's one thing I want you to realize and to understand as you get ready to transition into high school. So if you run into a brick wall where your friendships end up ending, or if you run into a brick wall where you get introduced into something brand new, right, and you take interest in it, and you end up not being around the same group of friends, that it's all a development process. Right? Those things are going to change. You're going to meet new people. You're going to come to high school and meet someone that is from California that just moved over to New Hampshire, right? And that's going to be your new best friend. So things are going to change. And so thank you for participating in that first activity. So our second activity, so as you can see, I have a little setup here. So what I'm going to do is I need 2 volunteers to come up to the stage. I need 2 volunteers who are not afraid to participate. And I said, oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I like the hands up high. All right, so I'm going to go with you first. Right? And then, all right, here we go. All right, now, just have a chance. Christine has something for you. I'm going to explain. So now, I need 3 more volunteers. I need 3 more volunteers to come up to the stage. 3 more volunteers. 3 more volunteers. Let's see. UNH shirt. Yep, you. That's one of them. All right, in the back. Here we go. And yes, over here. Yep. All right, so I'm going to actually, let me put the mask on. Do you have one? All right. So, now this activity is going to be a growth mindset activity. This is going to be a growth mindset activity, right? So, what's going to happen here is you three are going to be my distractors. So I hope you don't mind making noise, all right? Okay, so as you see this outside part here, so two of you are going to be on this side, and one of you are going to be on this side, you cannot go inside. So what's going to happen is our two students over here, one student is going to be blindfolded, so they're going to be the walker, the other person is going to be the guider. That person that's guiding the person that's blindfolded is going to be walking their way through this mini obstacle course to retrieve the football and bring it back. So the three of you are going to be able to utilize the outside of this to make noise, and hopefully we can have the crowd join in and make noise as well to be a part of the distractor, right? And so the whole point of this activity is to show you that as you get ready to transition into high school, as you get ready to get older, for one, you're going to get more responsibilities in life, and two, you are going to encounter distractions. But will you be able to fight with those distractions? Will you be able to stay focused? Will you be able to work with the team and trust the person next to you to guide you to the end, right? And so we're going to see how well they can do, and we're going to see how well they can distract in order to get to the end, to grab the football and bring it back, all right? So once they get set up, we'll go ahead and get started. And so once Christine finishes explaining to them, all right?
No question.
And can we say your name?
Zach.
Zach, over to Grace. Perfect. Thank you.
Ben.
Ben. All right, so Ben and Liddy, you two are the stars of the show. So I'm going to have the three of you go ahead and come around. Right, choose whatever side. And we're going to make noise, right? So that noise will be hey, bada, hey, right? Whatever you want to do, whatever that sound is. And same thing when you want. Whatever sound you want to make on the count of three, you're just going to make noise. And you're going to keep by. Then we're going to bring it back. Are we ready? Are we ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And so what I wanted to demonstrate was that as you get older, right, more responsibilities are going to come in your life. And as those responsibilities come, right, you're going to meet a lot of people. Again, there are people that are going to doubt you, right? When you go to high school, your workload is going to get a little heavy, right? The challenge in high school is going to get a little tougher. So when that stress, when that pressure is on you, can you stay focused? Can you continue to push through? right? When the noises get too loud and you're starting to get anxious, right? Can you stay focused? Can you continue to keep going until the mission is complete? And so great job. So that t-shirt is yours, right? You have a t-shirt as well as those two. Can you go see Christine? She has something for you. And after that, you can go back and sit down. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to need one volunteer. One volunteer. All right, here we go. All right, so what's your name? Gabby. Everyone give Gabby a round of applause. Again, right, so this is our next activity, right? So we're talking about showing respect to ourselves, right? Self-respect. Showing respect to ourselves, self-respect, right? So one thing that I learned through my journey, through my path, right, as I was depressed, as I thought that I was a failure, right, I had to begin to start showing my self-respect. And so this is what I want you all to get ingrained into your brains, is that you have to start showing yourself respect, right? And so up here, right, some ways that we can show our self-respect and others' respect, right? So talking about self-respect, speaking positive words over yourself, understanding your personal boundaries, right, things as such. We want to respect others, right? So how can we respect others? We can respect others by respecting their boundaries, by being nice to them, right? Speaking positive words to them as well, right? Helping them out when they are in need, right? Respecting the environment. We want to always respect the environment, especially when we're in school. We want to take care of the school, right? Picking up trash that we see on the floor, even if it's not yours, not littering, right? Making sure that you're following directions. We want to take care of the environment, right? Inside school, outside of school, right? And then also making positive contributions to their learning community, right? So in your community, whether it's helping someone with their homework, right? Or whether it's babysitting, and while you're babysitting, you're helping the babies with their ABCs, whatever it is, whatever your contribution is, whether it's working for a nonprofit, right? Or either putting on a yard sale and giving away some free toys, if possible, right? Whatever it is, making a positive contribution to the community. All right, so now what I'm going to have you do is, as far as the self-respect part, we want to make sure that we're speaking positive words to ourselves. Because I realized that was the biggest thing that I was missing as I was going through my change, right? Was that I was missing the ability to speak positively to myself, right? And so here are 4 words that we're going to have her read, and when she reads it out loud, you all are going to repeat after her, right? So you're going to read it out loud to the mic, and after she reads it, I want everyone to repeat it as loud as possible. And you're just going to go down the line, right? And you're going to watch it. Right? It's going to be shortly, so we're going to once, and then once again. All right? Perfect, here we go.
I am great.
I am great.
I am strong.
I am strong.
I am smart.
I am smart.
I am worthy.
I am worthy.
One more time.
I am great.
I am great.
I am smart.
I am smart.
I am strong.
I am strong.
I am worthy.
I am worthy.
And now, how many of you believe that you're great? How many of you believe that you're great? How many believe that you're strong? How many of you believe that you're worthy? Right? Perfect. All right, give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. Perfect. All right, so we have our last activity. And so Stacey, if you don't mind going ahead and queuing up that music for me. And hopefully each one of these activities have just shown you a little bit about how are you going to develop yourselves, right, as high schoolers, as you get older, right? Some of you are going to start working jobs, right? Some of you are probably going to get your first car in high school pretty soon, right? There are going to be things that you're going to have to do that you never had to do before. And
my name is Miriam, and I'm from
a lot of you,
sometimes you can feel absolutely
a lot of you have dreams and goals, right? And a lot of you want to be very successful. And so what we're going to do is this is going to be a group effort. So So what I want you to do is I want you to sit up nice and tall. I want you to take a nice deep breath, right? This is a non-judgmental zone, right? And I want you to really participate. I want you to really participate. And so in this activity, what we're going to do is, I want you all to close your eyes. I want you all to close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. Don't be afraid. Close your eyes. If everyone closes their eyes, no one sees anyone, so don't worry about anybody watching you. I want you to close your eyes. Close those eyes, nice deep breath, close those eyes. Now, I want you to begin to start picturing what it is that you want to become. Some of you want to be doctors, some of you want to be teachers, some of you want to be professional athletes, right? Some of you just want to be a successful parent, right? To have a happy home, a happy place, right? Some of you want to probably have the best-selling motorcycle business, right? Because you're into cars and you're into motorcycles. Dream of it, see yourself doing it right now in your head. And now what I want you to do is, as you're seeing it, I want you to take your left or right hand, whichever is comfortable, and I want you to create a basket at your belly, right? And take your opposite hand, and I want you to grab those dreams out of the sky and put it into your basket as if you're picking apples. As if you're picking apples, right? You're grabbing them out of the sky and you're putting them into your basket. Whatever those dreams are, however many you have, whatever it is, pick it, put it into your basket. Pick it, put it into your basket. Yes, there we go. And now what I want you to do is I want you to open your eyes and look down at your basket. And tell me, what do you see? What do you see? Nothing, right? It's just your life, right? So what's the point of that? What's the point of that? The whole point of that is to show you that every single dream, every single thing in this world that's been created, that's been successful, it all started out as an idea. It all started out as an idea. Someone's seen it, and then they put action towards it. So whatever it is that you want to become in life, whatever it is that you want to create, whatever it is that you want to do, it starts off as an idea, right? And when that idea is seen, you have to start putting work towards it. So like those chairs that you're sitting in right now, started off as an idea. At one point, we were sitting on the grass, right, picking our nose, scratching our heads. There were no seats, there were no chairs. And somebody said, wow, I'm tired of sitting on the ground. And they pictured a chair. And they began to build a chair. And now, hundreds of years later, people are using that same exact item that one person had an idea of. So what's going to be the one thing that you think of and create that for years later, that generations later, people are going to be using your product? People are going to be benefiting off of what your idea was, right? And every single one of you have the ability to make that creation. But you have to believe it. You have to speak those positive words. You have to have a growth mindset, right? You have to be engaged. And that's the only way those ideas are going to come to fruition and that you're going to be able to succeed on. And so now what I want to do is I want to transition and I want to tell you a story about the resilient team. Resiliency is the biggest thing that you all need to develop and have as you get ready to go into high school. And so this story about the resilient team, and after this, I'll be done. So this resilient team, his name was Brady. Is everyone here named Brady? No Brady's in here? Okay, cool. All right. So this student's name was Brady. Brady wants to be very, very successful in football. He loves sports, he loves athletics, but he was never the fastest, he was never the biggest, he was never the strongest. So Brady went to his mom and he said, Mom, I want to find a trainer, I want to find someone to help me get better, I want to find someone to help me get stronger, because I want to be good, I want to be able to compete, I want to play with my friends on the field. So his mom said, okay. His mom went online, she found him as a trainer, and this trainer was well known. He was known to be good for working with training kids, right, that are in middle school and high school. And so they start training with this trainer for about 2 months. And it gets to a day to where Brady's at his last training session. So Brady is training. They're doing push-ups. They're doing squats. They're doing burpees, right? They're working super, super hard. Brady is working super hard. He's breathing hard. He's sweating heavy, right? His eyes are bloodshot red. And it gets to the last 15 minutes of the workout. And the trainer tells Brady, he says, Brady, we have 3 100-yard sprints. A 100-yard sprint is the full length of the football field. right? So if you've ever seen a football field, you're sprinting as fast as you can from beginning to the end, and you have 3 of them, right? With 15 seconds rest. So Brady had been working so hard the entire training session, and once he gets to those sprints, he runs the first one. Brady said, go! Brady's running, he's panting hard, he goes to the line, he takes a deep breath. The trainer says, Brady, how are you doing? I'm okay, Brady, are you sure? Yes, I'm fine, I'm good. Will you be able to complete these last 2 reps? Yes. Well, you've been working so hard, Brady, you don't have to finish. I'm fine with you stopping here because you gave me your all at the beginning. No, I want to keep going. So they line up and get ready to run the second sprint. The whistle blows, he takes off. He's running. He gets to the 50-yard line. He crosses the line at the end. And now Brady is down on his knees. He's tired. He's down on his knees, and the trainer says, Brady, you've been working so hard this entire workout session. You don't have to finish. I'm fine with you stopping right here. And Brady said, no, I want to continue to keep going. So he said, okay, well, stand up. So Brady tried to stand up, and his legs were wobbling. But as he stood up, he paced back and forth, and the trainer asked him one last time. He said, Brady, will you be able to complete this last sprint? And Brady didn't say anything. Brady looked at the trainer. He looked at the clouds. Sweat went down his face. So the trainer took it as, if you're not going to say anything, well then, that's the end of the workout. Thank you so much. So the trainer told Brady, he said, well, I'm going to go ahead and start packing up the props. I'm going to get the football, the cones, I'm going to move back the car. So the trainer begins to walk away, and Brady says, no, wait. He said, I'm going to finish. And the trainer said, Brady, you can barely stand up. He said, actually, coach, can we start at the 50-yard line instead of starting at the 100? Can we do 2 50-yard sprints instead of the full 100? He said, I want to finish. I want to become great. So they started at the 50, and Brady ran. He took a deep breath. He ran another 50. The whole point of that, and the trainer, he was so happy. He was so excited. He said, Brady, you know what? I'm proud of you. And he said, why, coach? He said, because you had a choice. Your choice was to not finish. Life is going to give every single one of you options. Even though you made all A's through middle school, even though you made all A's through high school, right? You're still going to have a choice to make whether you want to continue to do even better, whether you want to continue to finish. Some of you are going to be so great in life to where you complete and do things that no one in your family has ever done, and you're going to have the option to lay back because you completed things that no one has ever done, but you still have the option to continue to keep going. And that option for Brady was to at least break it up piece by piece, because see, a lot of us, we think that we have to accomplish things in one chance, right? In one big lump sum. But it's okay to break things up. It's okay to do it piece by piece. It's okay to take it step by step until you complete the mission or the goal. So Brady showed resiliency. When adversity met him, he was not easy to bend, he was not easy to break. And he was able to adapt to the situation by having a growth mindset, by saying that it's okay for me to run 50 yards twice instead of the whole 100 yards and killing myself. Right? So, from that whole story, I want you all to just know that if you continue to be resilient, continue to keep pushing, when things get hard, use your minds, right? You're in school, you all are intellectual. You can find a way to still be successful. Be that resilient team. And understand that I have a choice in life to continue to keep pushing through my injury and to be successful. So do you. No matter what happens. No matter what you want to become. I never thought that I'd be a motivational speaker. And look what I'm doing today. Right? Encouraging and inspiring the lives of others through speaking instead of through playing. Because I could have done that as a football player, right? Making $1 million. I could have done that. But there was something that happened that changed my course, which I thought was the plan, right? Something that happened that changed my course, and I had to adapt. I had to stay resilient. And each one of you are going to be that resilient team as you get ready to move into high school and to make those great decisions. Be that resilient team. Don't stop. Don't quit. Don't break easily. Use your minds. Make the right decisions. Take care of one another. Right? COVID was a tough year for every single one of us. Some of you may have lost family members. They have lost friends. Right? Tough. single one of you are still sitting here today, doing what it is that you're supposed to do in order to be successful, in order to carry the torch on, in order to break generational curses, and to create generational wealth, intellectually, financially, right? Physically, spiritually, whatever it is. Every single one of you are in this room today, completing your destiny, completing your journey. Continue to keep pushing. And I appreciate you all so much for the time, and I appreciate you all participating. And that's my time. Thank you so much.